You've probably heard you have the right to remain silent countless times throughout your life. Well, that is called the Miranda warning. It's on every episode of Cops or any cop-related show on TV. But what exactly is Miranda, and what is the history behind it, and how does it help you? Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you are having a fantastic start of your week so far. I will go ahead and apologize for the lighting. I'm just being lazy right now. I did not get the other light panel out of my patrol car yet. I will do that for the next video, but for now, the lighting might be a little bit dim. I recently attended a course called Criminal Procedure, and this course was amazing. It was a lot of dry material, but the instructor that taught it was actually in law enforcement for 30 years. He was also a magistrate judge, so he saw both sides, the law enforcement and the judicial system. Either way, this gave me a ton of new ideas for videos, which I'm super stoked about, and one of them is Miranda. So what exactly is Miranda, and how does it affect citizens and police? I don't normally like going into the history of things on this channel because I try to keep it to the point. However, Miranda is a landmark case for law enforcement and arguably the most important case that you have to abide by. And when it comes to your rights as an American citizen, I think it's very important that everybody understands where they came from. By definition, Miranda is a criminal procedure rule that law enforcement must abide by before questioning a suspect. Now, let's get a little bit more detailed into that. So why is it called Miranda? The concept of Miranda rights was actually made a part of US law following a 1966 Supreme Court decision on Miranda versus Arizona. Now, ultimately, this decision found that the 5th and 6th Amendment rights of Ernesto Miranda were violated upon his arrest. Now, what was he arrested for? Robbery, kidnapping, and rape of a mentally ill girl. Since then, it's been required that all law enforcement personnel read somebody their Miranda rights upon 2 conditions. First of all, you have to be in custody. Secondly, you have to be interrogated about the crime you're accused of. So do officers have to read you your Miranda rights verbatim? No. There's actually been case law established where somebody tried to use the defense that during the time of their questioning, they were not read Miranda verbatim. Now, the courts actually sided on the side of the officers because they established the basic principles that the average person would understand, even though they weren't word for word. So technically, Miranda does not have to be read verbatim as long as the basic elements are there. Now, the funny thing about Miranda is there is no established verbatim way through the Supreme Court that they are supposed to be read. Most law enforcement agencies follow a guideline that the FBI uses. So I'm actually going to read this verbatim from the Supreme Court. It says, "The person in custody must, prior to interrogation, be clearly informed that he or she has the right to remain silent, and anything the person says will be used against that person in court. The person must be clearly informed that he or she has the right to consult with an attorney and to have them present during questioning, and that if he or she is indigent, an attorney will be provided at no cost to represent him or her." So the biggest misconception that I hear in law enforcement, and a question that people ask me all the time, do the police have to read me my rights when they arrest me? Absolutely not. I can't tell you how many people I have taken to jail, and I've had people flat out tell me as I'm like releasing them to the jail staff, "I'm gonna get out of this one. This one's about to be dismissed. You never read me my rights." And I usually follow up with something along the lines of, yeah, good luck with that. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit there and argue the requirements of Miranda with somebody that's 2 times the legal limit on alcohol. But remember guys, the 2 most important things you can remember: you have to be in custody and you have to be interrogated about the crime. Now, when the officer takes you to the jail and they're doing your arrest and booking sheet and they're asking for like your name, your date of birth, stuff like that, that does not fall under this rule. So just because they're asking you questions does not mean they have to read you Miranda. An example of where Miranda would be needed is, why did you shoot John Doe? That would be where you would need Miranda. So let me ask you guys something. Let's say you're suspected of a crime. Police go to your house, they question you about this crime, never read you your rights, and then they leave. Do you think Miranda is required? Again, no, the 2 conditions are not met. You are not in custody. Another important thing to keep in mind is that the Supreme Court makes a lot of decisions based on what the reasonable person would believe. That means if the reasonable person should have no reason to believe they are in custody, then there's no need for Miranda. So let's say you're accused of a robbery, I find you, I handcuff you, I take you to the jail, I don't say anything to you, I've already seen the video footage, I drop you off with the jail staff. I do not need to read you Miranda. So anyway guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much. Hopefully this cleared up some question on Miranda and what your rights are. Now, for those of you that are getting into law enforcement or you are looking into getting into law enforcement, none of us love to just sit at home reading case law. There is nothing fun to me about case law. However, it is a very necessary part of your job, and it's necessary if you want to be good at your job. So cases like Miranda versus Arizona are very important to know because you don't want to violate somebody's rights. Another thing to keep in mind is these rights also apply to you. It's not you versus the public. You are included in the public. We're not a military entity. So these same rights that you don't refresh on, you're also going to not know how they apply to you when you're off duty. But again, the biggest thing you want to remember is you don't want to be out there violating people's rights. And there's new case law that comes out all the time, and depending on the state you're in, every department should have some sort of yearly update on the new case laws that are coming out, because it's very important to know that. The last thing you want to do is arrest somebody for something that wasn't illegal for the last 2 years now. And yes, that has happened. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to address them accordingly. And I will see you guys very, very soon.